at the Medals Plaza that we've seen here at these games. Today, 3 members of that champion relay team are in action once more, seeking one final big moment for the home team. The field is full of contenders, and with the call, Al Troutwig and Paul Robbins.
We have crystal clear blue skies in Pragelato Pond for the final event of cross-country skiing. It's the men's marathon, the 50K or 30 miles. You wear a number according to your world ranking in this sport. Tobias Angerer of Germany has a couple of medals in these Olympic Games. He's the #1 World Cup skier in the world, but they haven't held an event like this, a 50-kilometer mass start, in 3 years. Now, Michael Botvinov comes in wearing number 17, and he represents Austria. They've been in the news for all the wrong reasons. Their headquarters raided, syringes and blood transfusion equipment found. He split and went back to Austria, and we thought we had seen the last of them. But now he is back, and that takes nerve. And it'll take nerve today for Pietro Piller Cottrer in front of all the home fans after winning 2 medals already. There was the men's pursuit in day 2 when he raced to the line and kissed the bronze medal in joy. But it was in the men's relay, the big show, when in the 3rd leg, he handed off the lead to Christian Zorzi, the man known as Zorro. And he exhorted him to bring home the gold for the Azzurri, and Zorzi did exactly that. And Italy will have 3 of these successful 4 men from the relay in today's 50K. It's a mass start. There's really nothing to gauge in terms of recent competition. Who's got the real stuff here today? The crowd is still arriving. This is a race that will take a little over 2 hours. They are almost literally skiing from here to Torino. This is as beautiful as cross-country skiing can get. Fastest man to the finish line wins.
And this is the first time they've had it, Al. A mass start, Olympic 50K, skate.
And if there is one man who knows that position is crucial, it's number 4, Frode Estel, who wore the exact same number in the race where he got tumbled at the start and then had to come from last place to claim a silver medal.
In the pursuit on the first day, Frode Estel with a gold medal effort took the silver, and he's become everybody's sympathetic favorite, except for the Italians, of course. They want to see Pietro Piller Cottrer, as you say, in his lucky yellow hat, the one he wore when he carried Italy to the gold medal in the relay. He had that strong 3rd leg, which then passed off to Christian Zorzi, and they went on to gold.
It's a frosty morning in Pragelato, about 21 degrees, but the way things have gone here, when the skies are clear and the sun rises above the mountains, it gets warm in a hurry.
It becomes a postcard. And the people here, this was almost a Norwegian scene, Al, as we came down to the stadium. Hundreds, thousands of Italians or other spectators in the crowd early, 2 hours ahead of time.
Now, this is why you want to be near the front. You see how slow the traffic is on the inside lanes with the merge? It's just like the 405. It just doesn't go the way you want it to.
This crowd spills out of the stands of about 5,000, and they are lining the tracks. Up in the woods, they're in the shade now. They will be in sunshine later on. This will be a glorious day. Beautiful way to end 2 fabulous weeks of cross-country skiing.
From 7 wide to almost single file. And these are the miles that everybody's got to do. You have to survive these early miles to put yourself in a position where in the late miles you can be part of the lead. And right now, Tobias Angerer of Germany, the #1 ranked cross-country skier in the world, is at the front. But Paul, as we saw in the women's long-distance race, the 30K, leading for many, many, many miles. Doesn't matter in the end.
No, it's not a seniority-based thing. It's whoever's leading at the finish. We've seen Russians come out of the pack and pick up the gold at the end of the race. And Julia Chapalova led most of the way through the 30K. And then Katarina Neumanova, with a great effort at the end, came shooting around the right side. She took the gold medal. And, of course, she was greeted at the finish line by her daughter, Lucy. Wonderful Mother's Day scene. These are the flats. Nobody's gonna make a move here. You got to be patient early in the race. You can't start to push it, because these are going to be 5 times around a 10K loop, and it's not going to be easy.
So Germany has a representative at the front. So does Sweden. The host nation, Italy, they're well represented in their men wearing blue. Norway, what's going to happen to them today in red? Can they possibly stay near the front and finally break through and win a gold medal in the sport that they've dominated since its inception, or not?
You know, I don't think so, Al. We have seen in these games, they just don't have the depth they used to. When you have guys like Bjorn Daly, Thomas Alsgaard, you got two heavy hitters right there. It's like having Michael Jordan and, you know, Magic Johnson in there for you. You got somebody to lead you, but they just don't have that leadership now. And frankly, they don't have the talent well either.
It's been a big-time Winter Olympics for Sweden, and at the front is a former World Cup champion, Mattias Fredriksson, so he has to be respected. Italy's number 10, Giorgio De Centa. He was part of their big 4x10 relay success, and of course, in his blood, Olympic medals, 7 won by his sister Manuela.
And he's a good skater, too. This is a good distance for him. But the thing that amazes me, Al, 82 people starting this thing. That's an incredible thing. The biggest, hardest, toughest race of the games.
Piller Cottrer is there for Italy as well, and you saw Tobias Angerer wearing the number 1, dropping back as we slide and look at the rest of the field. The storyline early in these Winter Olympics was that the number 1 was a heavy burden.
And it certainly was for Marit Bjorgen of Norway. On the women's side, Al, she had to drop out of a race. She finished with only a silver medal, and then she went home early. Angerer's had trouble. He's got a silver and a bronze, but he certainly has not had the Olympics that Germany looked for.
This is a punishing race, and the punishing is just getting started. In the historic Hisone Valley, heading toward Pragelato in the 20th Winter Olympics. 82 men begin, each with differing dreams. Only a handful can really believe they have the stuff to win. Can Tobias Angerer reaffirm his top status? Or could Pietro Piller Cottrer come through for Italy? They and everyone will go to great lengths to try and make that happen.
Next week, the biggest deals in television are on NBC. Deal or No Deal is back for a week-long event.
$1 million.
The Apprentice makes its move to Monday night,
I love it.
while Big Sexy Las Vegas moves to Fridays.
Maybe you want to take me for a ride sometime.
Followed by the series premiere of Friday's next great drama, Conviction.
Today's my first day.
Next week, your best deal is on NBC.
My sister and I both weave baskets, bread baskets, market baskets, Nantucket baskets. I was diagnosed with breast cancer in April of '99. There wasn't anything I could do to make it go away, and that was really hard. A friend of mine recommended Freighter. She seemed to be really comfortable with the doctors at Freighter. I think part of it is that they are a teaching hospital and that they are always cutting edge. She's been cancer-free for 5 years. Everything's fine now. It's great.
Every deck's got 52 characters, but there's only one real king of clubs. The Firekeepers Club at Potawatomi Bingo Casino. Hold this, and every spin, every hand, every roll of the dice earns points that pay you back. The Firekeepers Club card, Wisconsin's most popular club card. Around here, it's good to be king.
Chevy Trailblazer 4-wheel drive has more standard horsepower than Ford Explorer. But did you know it gets better highway fuel economy and has more passenger room? Now qualified lessees can lease an 06 Trailblazer LS 4-wheel drive for around $299 a month. Residency restrictions apply. Call for lease details. Find out more. Go to Edmunds.com and click head-to-head. Thank you for making us the #1 selling cars and trucks in Wisconsin.
Germany, Sweden, Italy at the front of the men's marathon, the 50K, still in the early miles. But still some statements are being made. For a short time, there were 2 Norwegians, Frida Estel, number 4, and Tor Arne Hetland, number 11, at the front, setting the pace. And that seems significant on this last chance for Norway to salvage cross-country gold. But almost these last few miles tell the story, yet again, of what's gone on with Norway.
Total frustration for Norway. They've gone through 11 races. They have only 4 medals. We said at the start of the games, Al, they don't have the heavy hitter of Thomas Alsgaard or Bjorn Daly. But 11 races, 4 medals, no gold.
They are a lot like the New York Yankees, an unparalleled winning tradition. That tradition was upheld at the last 2 Winter Olympics by Tobias Angerer, who has 6 Olympic medals, 5 of them gold in his career. In Nagano, he brought Norway to gold in the relay, then repeated it in 2002. Then again, the New York Yankees let Babe Ruth go, just like Norway did to Tobias Angerer, to let him go coach Sweden.
I offered my experience to the Norwegian team. They didn't take it, and I got a good offer from the Swedish team. So that I thought was very interesting, to get into a new team in a new country, to get to learn a new culture. So that's why I'm here now, I guess.
So Alsgaard is the big free agent that got away, and you'd have to figure Norway would trade results with Sweden right now in these Winter Olympics.
They would love to have it. Norway has 4 medals. Sweden has 4 medals. Norway has no gold. Sweden has 3 gold medals. It's been a great show for the Swedes. They are very happy so far, and they've got this race to go. When I talked to Alsgaard this morning, I said, any predictions? And he goes, I like Mattias Fredriksson, Anders Sodergren. This is their record at the games.
3 gold medals and a bronze in the men's 4x10 relay. None of those races included Norway in front.
Norway's men and women didn't get a medal in either relay. They both finished 5th, Al. Historic results.
What a smile there must be on Alsgaard's face to look at the lead of this race right now and see Anders Sodergren, number 8 from Sweden. And now Sodergren steps out of the lead, and that allows Giorgio De Centa of Italy to have the prestige of taking him out of Stadio Alto Miglio into the hills.
This is the first of 5 times around this course. That means 5 times into the hill, Al, and those are going to be very tough hills. They're in the shadows now, but the sun is starting to creep down. They were very lucky last night. It got cold. It was probably down in the teens, and this course has set up after we got 6 or 8 inches of snow yesterday. That would have been made for a very soft underfooting. But right now, it's a strong track, it's a hard track, and it's going to make for a good race. The 50K skate. This is the Bruiser. It's the men's marathon.
23 skiers separated by only 10 seconds. The emotional favorite here on the Italian side is Pietro Piller Cottrer. He was the virtual hero in the men's relay, skiing the 3rd leg and giving Italy the lead. But so far, he has not made a statement in that trademark cap of his at the front of this race.
But he's got time. He has 4 more times around this course. He knows what these hills can do. It was his brilliant leg on the 3rd leg of the relay that gave Italy the gold. He created the break. He crushed the rest of the field, gave Christian Zorzi a lead, and Italy went on to the gold medal. Their first since 1994 in Lillehammer. Huge upset. Norway didn't even medal in that. And they didn't medal in the women's relay either. They're in total shock. They are regrouping. And it's interesting, you were talking earlier about the fact that we've got Frode Estel, who was at the front, and we had Tor Arne Hetland at the front for Norway. Hetland is a sprinter. That's his stock and trade. That's his money event. But remember, he had a fall in the sprint this week, and did not have a chance to defend his medal, and he may have gone to the coaches and said, look, give me one more shot here.
So Sweden, Germany, Italy, looking strong so far in this men's 50K. And in speaking of it, there, check that out. That's the mark of the Z. Zorro, Christian Zorzi, who anchored the Italian 4x10. Long distance, not his thing. He's not in the race today.
No, not at all. He's a sprinter. He's, there are specialists in the sport. Andres Verpalu, the 15K winner, he's not racing today either. This is a bruiser. Nobody wants to ski a 50K. I got to tell you, it's really tough, Al. You got to be patient at the start, and you still got to have some firepower at the end.
One thing about this course, the fans get to see a lot of the skiers. They come and go. They're visible up on the hills. They're visible here on the bridge. And this is Vincent Vitoz of France.
First Frenchman to ever win a World Cup, to ever win a World Championship. Last year he was a pursuit champion.
But is long distance his thing?
Skating is his thing. He's been close in 50Ks. He should be a contender at the end. He'll be in the top 4 or 5. Could be on the podium. I think he's got a good shot at a gold.
One of the big stories still in this race is how many skiers can see the lead from where they are. And as they look toward the lead right now, it's a Frenchman who comes from just over the mountains, Vincent Vitoz.
Minutes down to 4. It was a start. He became an entrepreneur, eventually devoting himself to the pursuit of products and process that could help the disabled. He developed a sailboat, the Martin 16, which a quadriplegic can pilot using a straw.
It's always been my understanding since my terrible moments there that my life has really changed when I started focusing on others. And when I think about how I can help other people achieve a quality of life.
2 months ago, Vancouver residents elected Sullivan to a 3-year term.
The very fact that they've chosen me as a person with a visible disability is a pretty strong statement by the citizens that they want inclusive games that are respectful of everyone.
But there was a problem. That's ceremony. The flag and pole are heavy.
There was a suggestion that I just have somebody with me to wave this flag. And for me, that's not anything that I'm interested in doing.
So a city engineer and the disability service organizations he's worked with created a rig for his chair. How he'll actually wave the flag remains a secret. But it's not a big deal in the scope of things to Sullivan.
Some people look at disability as a tragedy. I look at it as a career move, perhaps. And I've tried to make the best of whatever cards are dealt me. And I'm just wake up every morning feeling like a blessed man.
Well, it kind of goes without saying that Sam's quite a man. You know, he's also got a sense of humor. He said there was some controversy back in Canada whether or not it was a good idea to send the country's worst skier here to represent Vancouver in Torino. We're going to step aside for a moment, but when we come back, the men's 50K continues from Pragelato Plan.
Chevrolet, America's brand, supports America's best.
Looking behind them, the crowd is into it. The final miles of the men's 50K. The Czech Republic 1 and 3, but Italy, of course, is dreaming. They're dreaming that Pietro Piller Cottrer in the yellow cap can do it again on the snow of Italy.
Who would have figured, Al, this far into the race? 4 leaders up there, 2 Czechs and a Slovakian, plus the national hero here, Pietro Piller Cottrer, number 3. You can spot Piller Cottrer with that very distinctive yellow cap. Now the group starts to pick up starts to come together a little bit more as they go into a little bit of a downhill.
Already, if he decides to sell those yellow caps, he'll sell 1 million of them. Maybe triple that if he could pull this off today.
That's a golden cap. A lot of Euros involved in that. When they come out with that line, the very fashion-conscious Italians, you know, next winter they'll all be wearing his yellow cap.
One more time to the stadium, and then it's up into the hills one last time.
They're starting to break apart here, Al. Get back into these hills, somebody pushes it, people start to fall off the back. Mental toughness as well as physical toughness here. Waxing hasn't been a problem. It was cold last night. The track set up as a very hard and fast track. If it stayed the way it was yesterday after 6 or 8 inches of snow during the night, it would have been much more brutal because it would have been soft underfooting. But this is a good hard track.
And there are going to be some men who are going to hit the wall. You can train for this all you want, but it's a totally different game when it's in competition. And they haven't held a mass start freestyle 30 miles for years in cross country. So now it's warmed up from 20 to 36 degrees. If you didn't hydrate early, you'll pay the price late.
Hydrate, the fancy word for get your feed, get your drink, get liquids in your body, replenish the liquids that you're sweating out, that you're working out. Yuri Magal, number 14 from the Czech Republic, up front, looks over his shoulder, sees Piller Cottrer. He sees the rest of the pack closing in behind him, so he slows it down. He's not looking to go into his final sprint 4 or 5 miles out.
If this does come down to a sprint, pay attention to France's number 2. He comes from just over the mountains. Vincent Vito's number 2. The Czech Republic there, number 34. Milan Sparrow. Czech Republic flexing their muscles here in these late miles of what has to be called the men's marathon. This is like a team event all of a sudden for the Czech Republic.
Exactly. They all surge to the front. They start looking over their shoulder. Hey, where's Freddie? Come on up here, Freddie. You pull this thing for a little bit. We'll slow it down. We'll let Yuri get ahead, or in this particular case, we'll let Milan pull for a while. But Vito's somebody to watch. Jens Philbrick from Germany, number 9 in the pack. Definitely somebody to watch.
25 skiers within 5 seconds.
Well, that's the pack we're looking at right there. They have spit people out the back of that pack in the hills and now on the flats. Frode Estel's still part of it. You got to figure he's going to be worn out on this. Not a great skater, good skater, but not a great one. Number 6, Mattias Fredriksson from Sweden.
Norway still has 3 skiers in this group, and remember, they've been shut out of the gold medals. Tor Arne Hetland is also there, and is also Tord Asla Gjerdalen, a 22-year-old for Norway.
Yep. The new face. They're going to have to regroup, reboot the program for the guys. They still have Marit Bjorgen if they can keep her healthy for the women, but the guys are going to have to reboot, get reorganized, and get some fresh blood in there.
Interesting choice of words there, Paul, because the Austrian ski team here is all about blood. That's number 17, Michael Botvinov, the Russian, now skiing for Austria, and a bronze medalist in 2002. For a second straight Winter Olympics, the Austrians have been found to be in possession of blood transfusion materials. Botvinov's bronze in Salt Lake held up under tremendous scrutiny. Now the scrutiny is going to get even worse, and if he stays in the medal mix, a lot of people are going to be uncomfortable with this result.
Absolutely. You're innocent until you're proven guilty, but there's a lot of circumstantial evidence here, Al. Very controversial situation.
But Piller Cottrer of Italy is trying to make sure that doesn't happen. With a little bit of a surge on one of the few climbs remaining, the Czechs are staying with him.
Good tempo there, Al. Good tempo. The Czechs come in right behind them. They're going, wait a minute, let's close it down a little bit. We can't let him get ahead.
It's 15 feet. In this poker game, he could be saying, I'm all in.
Oh, man, there goes the French one. That's Gaillard from France.
And this is not the real big hill yet.
This is just a little climb, but he says, let's see who's still going to be in this thing. Who wants to be a player? Who can play with the varsity? Who's going to ski with the big kids?
Yuri Magal of the Czech Republic tries to keep pace with Pietro Piller Cottrer.
Vincent Vito's number 2 from France.
5 kilometers, 3 miles to go. Is this going to be an Italian ride for glory? It looks as though the Czech Republic wants to have a say in that.
The 20th Olympic Winter Games on NBC are brought to you by Budweiser, proud sponsor of the U.S. Olympic team, by Allstate, proud home and auto insurance sponsor of the 2006 U.S. Olympic team, and by Apple. Download your favorite NBC shows on iTunes. Enjoy them anywhere on your iPod.
I'm an event planner. When my dry contacts bother me, I just can't go on with my day. All the rubbing, the blinking, the drops, super annoying.
What are you doing wearing glasses?
My contacts felt so dry, I had to put my glasses on.
You need to get new AccuView Oasis like I did. They're amazing.
Oh, you know they're all the same.
These are different.
My doctor told me that only new AccuView Oasis has HydroClear Plus, so the lens stays moist. Wow, it feels like it disappeared on my eye. Now, I feel unstoppable.
Ask your doctor about the AccuView Oasis Challenge and get a free Torino 2006 Olympic Winter Games pin.
Not all the energy for our fuel comes from oil in the ground. A lot of it comes from our people, who year in and year out put so much of their energy into everything they do. So you can be sure that when you put Valero gas into your tank, you're going to get a lot out of it. Valero, the energy to take you anywhere.
Today's dreamers tomorrow's Olympians.
It's the film that touches the hearts of every generation.
Start building some memories.
Now, with beautifully restored picture and sound, the 50th anniversary edition of Lady and the Tramp on 2-disc Disney DVD this Tuesday, only for a limited time.
The 2006 Motor Trend Sport Utility of the Year. The new Nissan Xterra. Show us your X.
Last time into the stadium. The next time through it will be for gold, silver, and bronze, and it's still way too close to call. Pietro Piller Cottrer of Italy made a move, but he was reeled in by number 14, Yuri Magal of the Czech Republic, and now the entire lead pack. The bell sounds. The next two major climbs will decide this men's marathon of 30 miles.
3 Italians in this lead group of 6 people in here, Al. 3, 10, and 15. They are staying right at the front with Yuri Magal from the Czech Republic. Number 3, we've talked about him several times, Pietro Piller Cottrer, the national hero, giving them their relay.
And right next to Piller Cottrer at the front is number 17, the Russian now skiing for Austria. Right there, he leads them out. Michael Botvinov is the only skier on this gorgeous day with a cloud hanging over his head. The investigating will continue on Austrian efforts, but he is remaining to be a player in front.
This is the last time through the stadium. They are heading out to the hills, and this is when they are really going to splinter this group.
Somewhere in this lead group is a man who knows what he's going to do, maybe more than one.
The rest of them know what they think they're going to do, or what they would like to do, but won't be able to. It's very surprising. 2 Czechs up at the front.
Look at Italy. They've got an entire row there behind.
3 of them. Piller Cottrer and DeCenta and Fabio Santos, the young kid, bringing them in here, getting them some experience.
Just remember, you need to know nothing about the sport, but by reputation, the lower number, the better it is.
And there's number 1 at the back of the pack, Tobias Angerer. Hasn't really been a factor since halfway through the race. Just been part of the crowd. And we've had a great crowd here lining the tracks, Al. Cloudless sky, thousands up in the hills, thousands along the river. A lot of energy out there. These athletes can really feed off that. And of course, the emotional Italians, they just love it.
Forza Azzurri, Italy in blue, well represented. The Czech Republic emerging in the second half of this race in a big way with their 3 best skiers. And here we go, up the climbs that are going to decide this.
This is not going to be fun. It's going to make great viewing. It's going to make for a great race. But if you're one of those athletes, you know you just got a lung burner coming up for the next 15 minutes.
There's going to be a break here. I don't think there's any question about that. The key is when and who. Jean-Marc Gaillard, number 30. He was dropped. He looked like he was a mess just a few minutes ago. And now he's back near the front.
We saw him fall, but he has fought his way back in. But that's how tight this group is. You get into the group, and then you just kind of thread your way to the front. Stay in contention. This is not the hill where somebody's going to make a move. This takes you up to the top at the west end of the stadium here. You go through the elevator shaft. You have a downhill into a small uphill. A little bit of level stuff, and then you have an absolute anvil of an uphill. And who's going to be the hammer to put the rest of the field away?
The elevator shaft is our term for the steep drop. You actually lose sight of the skier in front of you. Then it's down a hill, around a sharp curve, and then Decision Hill. 2 hours into the men's 50K. And look how many players there still are.
Right out, and look who's still at the front. Number 17, Botvinov.
Representing the disgraced Austrian team, and because of that situation, I've followed him today with great interest, Paul. He was 38th, then he was 28th, then he was 20th, then he was 16th, and he's made an unbelievable progression through the field. The Italians are still very well grouped 3 and 4. Gaillard of France still in front. Now there are reasons to stay near the front. Check out this. Pietro Piller Cottrer almost taken out in the yellow cap.
Oh, what a save, Al.
That's why you want to stay in front of the fray. Now past 2 hours into the men's 50K. Still France in front. How many different nations have we had in front of this race? The Czech Republic, Belarus, Sweden, Norway, Spain, Romania,
Canada. I mean, you know, haven't seen the Russians up there. They're staying in the weeds. Maybe they're not up there yet.
If you are going to make a move here, you better have a plan B in case it doesn't work. The day started with 82 players. Unbelievably, almost a third of the field is still a player in what could happen at the finish line. After a little over 30 miles, it may come down to the last few yards.
Go to NBCOlympics.com for up-to-the-minute.
Botvinov pulled into the middle lane. That's a good move, too. That's going to give him some space. And Piller Cottrer looks like he's running out of gas, Al.
No Italian man has ever won the 50K, and that's all going to change with a perfect exclamation point for Italy in their Winter Olympics. Oh, and it was close for silver and bronze. Botvinov was there with Dementiev. Giorgio Dicenta comes to the rescue for Italy and pays the price.
Dicenta for the gold. Forza Azzurri. There's Dementiev, pursuit winner.
And he played this race exactly like he played the pursuit. He hung back, didn't make any early statements, but when it came to the stretch run, he was there.
And a photo finish with Botvinov. There's carnage in the finish area, as you would expect after a 31-mile race. 32 miles. What a race. 2 hours and 5 minutes or so. Bright sunshine, cloudless sky, fabulous crowd here, Al. Great way to finish the games. And a gold medal for Italy.
But the key question, in a larger sense, for the future of this sport are the tough questions that Michael Botvinov is going to have to answer today.
There he is, still on the ground. Apparently down, but not out yet.
Well, this we know. There is going to be one glorious Italian moment in the closing ceremony when Giorgio Dicenta, brother of Manuela, will step to the podium and they will play the Italian national anthem in the Olympic Stadium tonight. Sister Manuela won 7 Olympic medals in her great career. Giorgio Dicenta now has 3, but this one is an individual gold, and it's quite sweet. The silver medal goes to Yevgeny Dementiev, his second medal of the games, and Michael Botvinov, at the age of 38, claims what has to be a much scrutinized bronze medal for Austria. So the Italian fans were on the edge of their seat. They had 3 players for most of the day, but in the end, it came down to one huge sprint for gold for the 33-year-old lumberjack from Paluzza. The sprint was decided by a 1/10 of a second for silver there, Dementiev and Botvinov for the bronze. So the Italians celebrate once again as they claim both of the big races in cross country.
So the final day of the Torino Games concludes with a 5th gold medal for the home team. And for the first time at a Winter Games, the medals will be awarded at the closing ceremony. And we'll have that for you right after this.